Arvind, hello Arvind, how are you?
Okay,
Let's start.
yeah, I think it's time. So, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, good
Good
afternoon,
evening.
and to some here, also good morning. My name is
Yes.
Lachpat. I am part of LPTI. I am from the Business Development Department. I've been associated with Lipasaj for just over 4 years now. But my association with tourism has been spanning over 3 decades and more, and counting, I must say. I have predominantly been in the field of inbound tourism. My specialty is getting people into India and showing them this wonderful country. Uh, Today, we have been grappling with this new normal that, as we call the pandemic, which has changed the lifestyle style of many in just about 5 months. It has reshaped a lot of our lives, and most of all, it has reshaped how we travel. So tonight we are here sitting down with some of our eminent personalities from the tourism field to find out what is this new normal and how will it affect luxury travel. Sharing the dais with me is my colleague from Brazil, Cristina Claire from Boarding Gate. Cristina has been living almost 17 years in several countries in Europe, 10 of which was spent in studying, after which she came back to Brazil. She's fluent in 6 languages. Wow. And
Quite a brain.
before getting into tourism, she was also an executive TV producer. She's now launched Boarding Gate, her representative and PR company, and with extensive background of experiential and luxury travel. The second person I would like to introduce is Mr. Mahesh Natarajan. Mahesh is the Senior Vice President of the award-winning wellness retreat Ananda in the Himalayas. It is located in Rishikesh, which is about 5 to 6 hours drive from Delhi. And Mahesh leads their well-being initiative. He also manages the Ananda Spa Institute. It's an integrated institute for spa and wellness therapy education. With over 25 years of experience in various multinational companies and hotels, his goal is to build a very successful and a multifaceted global holistic wellness. That is what Ananda stands for. His deep interest in the world of health and wellness is well known. He's a follower of Ananda's traditional Hatha Yoga practice. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mahesh.
No, that's absolutely right.
Perfect.
Rajput.
Mahesh lives in Delhi with his family, and they share his passion for travel and discovering new places, experiences, and traditions. Also with us today, our other guest is Sunil Sharma. He's part of the well-known Oberoi Group, which is synonymous with the word luxury, especially in the world of travel. Recognized not only in India, but also globally. He is heading this bouquet of hotels and some of the award-winning properties as a Deputy Vice President Travel Trade. He's been associated with the Oberoi Group for the last 19 years and currently on a webinar detox since the past 2 months, as he's been saying. But he has happily agreed to join us today for this chat at this little forum that we're going to share. He enjoys golf, he enjoys traveling, sharing travel stories, and tries to learn 2 new skills every year. Am I right, Sunil?
Absolutely.
Perfect. So, on behalf of Lipasaj to India, I would like to welcome all of you on this special session, or should I say, a more informal chat. Before we start the session, I would request all the attendees here to please put your mics on mute because what happens is it disturbs the other people and they won't be able to hear what the person is talking. Once we are through with all our session, we will have the floor open for questions. So wherein you could unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and ask your questions to the esteemed guests here. So once again, thank you people for joining us, Christina, Mahesh, and Sunil. So while we are all grappling, as I said, with this new COVID, clients, travel agents, everyone has some uncertainties and doubts. And many are talking about this new normal. But nobody really knows what this new normal is all about. What are your thoughts about this? The floor is open, so I mean, any of you all can pick it up and go ahead with it.
Well, ladies first, as we say.
Of course.
So what I think is that the history is still being written. We really don't know what is coming. But what I think is, as a company, we need to be very prepared nowadays for other eventualities that might happen in the future. And I'm sure that this will be more and more what defines the new normal. I think that what we must do now for this new normal is planning. I think we must plan for the after effects. This is very necessary. This pandemic has caught us by surprise. And I think that we really need to get ready as a company, especially as a hotel, as an airline, to deal with future, I think, situations as this one. So we still really do not know what the new normal will be. There are certain guidelines, but I would like maybe to invite Sunil to tell me a little bit about what he thinks the new normal is for the Oberoi hotels.
Thank you, Christina. Thank you, LPTI team, for inviting us to speak. As I mentioned, I am on a digital detox, rather webinar detox from last 2.5 months. So what I'm going to speak is purely my experience, not influenced by any more webinars that I have attended, because I have not attended any one. So new normal is the new word, actually. And we have been thinking about this every day. In our view, new normal is actually a question which comes to our mind, that what are you searching for and what is your purpose of travel? If you get an answer to that question, that are you traveling with the purpose of wellness, are you traveling with the purpose of culture or cuisine, or you are traveling with the purpose of heritage, you got your answer. So to answer your question, new normal is to experience the purpose little bit more deeper than earlier it was. And when you travel with a purpose, you have found your new normal. Would you think, Christina?
Yes, I agree. I really
Mahesh,
agree
what
on
do you
this.
think?
Mahesh,
Yeah.
what would you
Yeah.
think?
I think everything that Christina and Sunil you've shared are absolutely spot on. The new normal is going to be defined by the real choice of travel. And as we have been thinking about how this is going to progress and speaking almost daily to so many of our guests and travel partners across the world, I think the new normal, especially in our area, which is luxury travel, the way it is shaping up now is it's giving a new perspective to the way people will travel. In the luxury industry, some of the tenets are always going to be the same, but some are changing. I see people really cherishing their travel experience even more than what it was before. Maybe travel will be maybe once a year, but longer and slower. That travel the new normal will probably be something which really enriches, something which is really experiential and transformational, so that people can actually take that back and really say that, look, I've really committed to doing this, and I was able to do it. But of course, you can't take away from the fact that there is going to be reliance on and a searching for safety. There's going to be a searching for reliability. And at the same time, the new normal is also going to be about flexibility, I feel, both from customers as well as service providers, whether it is travel agents or tour operators or hotels and wellness retreats like us. So I think there are many different dimensions of what the new normal is going to be. Some are going to be really positive for travel at large, for the factors that I just mentioned. And for some, everybody is going to have to adjust, which we are already doing.
Yes,
Great.
I think,
I
I guess every
yeah.
company is adjusting to the new reality. So are the airlines, so are the tour operators, because they have to deal with so many cancellations and so many rebookings. So it's very hard work they all have been doing. I represent Le Passage, so I know what Le Passage has been through during this pandemic. And I think that this situation has taught us also to be very organized. You know, I think the more organized you are, the easier you can deal with things, especially being, I would say, a tour operator. In the hotel business, you are right. I think flexibility is going to be a new normal for a while, at least. Maybe until the vaccine is here and we can travel safely again. But as I said, we are not rid of any possible other situation coming. This was the first, I think, in the world situation that we faced, such as a world pandemic. So now that we have lived such a thing, I guess that we need to learn from it and think how, as a company, as a hotel, we can survive, and what actions we need to do so that if something happens again, we are ready to face it.
Perfect. I think, yes, there is a new normal, like we rightly put it, and things are going to change. Having said this, over a period of time, we have seen that, you know, we're getting a little tired of all these protocols, sanitization measures at all destination airlines, hotels that's being implemented. Of course, every day we get some mail from some hotel regarding their procedures, etc. But are these really a differentiator, or will the value proposition go beyond all this? What is your thoughts, Mahesh?
Look, Lajpat, I feel, yes, of course, safety, all the safety processes which are required to welcome guests again is a requirement. But I think very quickly this is going to become a hygiene factor. Everybody needs to be screened. You do need to follow some level of social distancing, at least till, as Christina says, you reach a stage where the vaccine is brought in. But till that stage, all these processes have to be in place. I think the differentiator will really come when hotels are able to do something which allows the guests to experience an almost normal destination or a resort experience. That will become a real differentiator. And a few places have tried to do that. Here at Ananda, we are trying to do something which might create that kind of a differentiator. We have actually got our entire guest services team, whether it is the wellness team or the food and beverage teams or the housekeeping or everybody to actually be housed on the property itself, on the premises itself.
Oh, that's great.
So in a way, you kind of create an entire cocoon, which is completely safe. And all our the guests have to come, get themselves tested before coming to the property. And that's something, because we're a wellness destination, we took that kind of jump and we said we have to do this. So in a way, it's a complete cocoon. Obviously, not every destination will be able to do this, and not every retreat will be able to do this. But each service provider, I feel, needs to think about this, saying, what is it that I can do or go the extra mile to really create something of a differentiator? But otherwise, I feel everybody must follow certain basic safety processes. This will soon become a necessity. It's almost like, somebody will not travel to a place unless these are actually checked off.
In
That's
place. Great. Sunil, your thoughts on this?
My thoughts, yes, I believe that protocol of health and safety and sanitation is a given actually in the current norms. It's a given. Everybody expects that yes, whatever the world desires or a traveler desires for will be available. But yes, when I say that, in a way, it will be a differentiator also, because what you do, what process do you follow, what people are behind the process, how the process is conducted. I mean, the entire sanitization and health and hygiene safety elevation process I'm talking about. Uh, that is the process is the differentiator. Just using the word that we are also health and safety or we are equally hygienic, a property or organization, is a very common statement. The differentiator is the process behind it. Just to share with you, we have tied up as an Oberoi Group, we have tied up with a very prestigious organization called Bureau Veritas. Bureau Veritas is an organization which is recognized for testing, inspection, and certification. They operate in 140 countries. So it's a well-respected organization, and by associating with them, what I mean to say is we have created a differentiator versus the others out anywhere in the world, that yes, we are following a process which world expects or our clients expect, and we would like to give them the world's best. So that is a differentiator that I would like to bring in. Yes, value propositions will go beyond that and people will expect, but at the end, it's the experience that you get and how you feel whilst during the stay. And that's what will matter at the end of the day.
Yes, of course, especially hotels like yours have been synonymous with experiences. I must say that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
I also think that hotel brands such as Ananda and Oberoi have been doing this process of sanitization and cleaning long way. This is something that is already established and has been established for many years, I think that all these protocols, they are important, but for, I guess, companies that deal on a daily basis with a lot of people, such as airports, airlines, hotels such as Oberoi and Ananda, in my view, and this is the view also of luxury, I think we have always been dealing with these processes of cleanliness and, in the kitchen, in the rooms, everywhere, long before the pandemic arrived, and this, we will continue to do this, I'm sure. But I think what will remain in maybe the years to come is that people will always wash their hands a lot. This was the year of washing hands, as I must say. This type of basic hygiene that I think is what we have to introduce to our lives and spread it, So I think that because most of the well-known brands, they have been doing this for many years. Of course, I'm sure when the vaccine comes again, what I say, nobody will be traveling with a mask, This is not something that will stay, I believe. And maybe still a few months until the whole world gets organized and everybody can receive the vaccine. But for sure, what will stay is the alcohol gel, washing hands, because keeping your distance, this will be impossible. The world is growing in population every year, and everybody wants to connect and to hug and have a physical approach. So I guess that very soon, I hope, we will be able to go back at least to this type of normal.
Great. So while we are still hoping that the vaccine comes in and people want to travel, do you think that clients would want to get away from the crowd, find a peaceful sanctuary? Exclusivity might be the new trend as a result of this pandemic. Your thoughts on these, please. Sunil? Right.
See, definitely. Exclusivity has always been associated with luxury, and with this pandemic coming in, exclusivity is the new trend. People are looking at something exclusive. People are talking about what they can get extra, which is unique to them, or which fits into their experiential expectation. So over the period last 3-4 weeks, I have noticed people going to Jaipur are posing a request to visit the Naila Fort, which is a privately owned fort by the Oberoi Group. Now, this is a new observation that we have seen. People want to do something which is really exclusive for them, which they can talk about, right? And they want to still be away from the crowd, socially distanced or whatever. That's the view that we are observing. However, in last 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we have only seen the domestic guests in a hotel. So you can't really draw a pattern out of it. But yes, the interest is definitely towards exclusivity, and it is being shown in the kind of accommodation that they prefer, how they come for the meals in the restaurant or for their private dining experiences. So all these are currently being observed as patterns emerging in the consumer behavior. But exclusivity is the right word.
I couldn't agree more with what Sunil is saying. I mean, first of all, having been, in my earlier avatar associated with the Oberoi Hotels, and we were actually colleagues, Sunil and me. That's a perfect example of hotels which are built with ample amount of expansiveness and exclusivity and the luxury of space. I can't think of any other, luxury hotel group which is like that. And the way people, all the conversations that we've been having as well echo that completely. Even at Ananda, this is built on a 100-acre palace estate. It's surrounded by forests, and so that is the first thing that has actually been echoing with people, because the ability to go away and not only have person-to-person distance, but also have the luxury of being able to go out into open spaces, connecting back with nature. I think that has become hugely important. Almost everybody I've spoken to is either looking for something which is off in the wilderness, maybe just a couple of villas, untouched, maybe not with the full service that you might expect in an urban setting, but either it's that end, or they're coming into a luxury resort like here, like the Oberoi Hotels or like Ananda, and then they are appreciating the fact that you're on so much of open space and open nature that they can actually really luxuriate in. I think it's going to take some time before people go back into very tight-packed box-like hotel structures. They have a place as well, of course. But I think with this pandemic and post-COVID scenario, I think you've hit it on the head, that amount of exclusivity, and it's not only exclusivity of space, it's also exclusivity of the service and the safety related service and the personalization of service, which is possible in smaller, more boutique type of properties, where you have a concentrated number of staff who are also safe and who are taking care of you in a very, very personalized, but in a very exclusive kind of way. So I think both of these things are going to go hand in hand as we go into the near future.
Yes, great. I agree with both of you, Sunil and Mahesh. And also, as we see a lot of now people that are wanting to travel, they want to travel especially with their families. So of course, when you travel with your family, what you're looking for is security, is being in a space where everybody will be safe. And this usually happens if you are in smaller properties where you have more control, or also in places that you have a lot of space, you know, so that you can breathe fresh air. I think this is more what people are going to start requesting. I have been seeing, of course, always talking about Le Passage to India, that Maldives is already opened. So many people are looking for an island retreat also, you know, also destinations like the Oberoi, Udaipur, for example, you know, close to a lake with a view, with a beautiful view, and where you can breathe, you know. So those are the type of locations that people for sure are looking right now. This is what I have been singing in the requests lately, you know, concretely, because there are lots of people that already want to travel, and they are tired of being closed, you know, inside a house.
Yeah.
Yes, of course, of course. We have been given these kind of requests on and off as well. But right now, like the flights, visas is still a challenge, which we are hoping that, you know, probably in the coming months, I think most probably next month or so, we should be a bit more clear on what the situation, and our government also takes a stand on that. Sunil, you just mentioned about the local coming and staying in your property. So what do you think about local tourism? Do you think that it has actually taken off in any of your destinations? And Mahesh, your view also on this, because this is also a segment, of course, we cannot totally ignore, you know, the domestic tourism. What do you all think on this? I mean,
So I'll take it first, and
Sure.
to answer
Sure, go
your
ahead.
point, Lajpat, to answer your point, yes, domestic movement has started in our resorts. 4 weeks ago, there were just inquiries. 3 weeks ago, we had some bookings and some conversions, which I would say guests coming and staying with us. Last 2 weeks, the rush has doubled up. And places like Udaipur, what Christina was saying, the Oberoi Uday Vilas, which is a fantastic product. We have seen guests coming in, of which we call as domestic guests coming in, and the requests are growing up every week. Yesterday, our Sukh Vilas, which is the resort near Chandigarh, was almost on 100% occupancy. Now that's a real shift, which we never saw in summers on domestic clients. We felt that the world is slowly getting back to business, and people are now wanting to come for holidays, and we never saw that kind of domestic rush in the past that we are seeing today. Yes, the guests are coming only, which is a drivable distance. So the cities which are around, or 3 to 4 hours of driving distance from Udaipur, or wherever our resort locations are, guests are traveling. Guests are coming with the families. They're traveling with the kids. They're spending a lot of time in the hotel to experience what the hotel has to offer. The earlier consumer behavior or the guest behavior would probably be they would go out in the city, try local cuisine, go sightseeing. But right now, of course, with a given condition, we have observed all the guests are spending like 100% of the time in the hotel, trying to experience every activity, trying to talk to chef, trying to learn about new recipes, trying to do hands-on, a lot of interactions, and a lot is going on, and we could feel that this domestic traveler, as that traveling is a part of the pent-up demand, and people were wanting to come out. They come from the right strata of the demographics that we were looking at. People wanting to spend money, coming out. They have good facilities out there at their homes, and the kind of the lifestyle they have got. But they still wanted to come out, travel to our hotels, resorts, spend time. And what is their spending time? Having all good meals, spending times walking in the gardens, uh, and just be there, friends and family outings. Maybe it's a scenery change for them, but yes, domestic travel is the trend we anticipated, and it's moving in the right way, and we continue to see it grow. The only thing I can mention is we thought only a premier room or the base category rooms will be in demand, but we were wrong. Now we are having demand for suites. We are having demand for higher category rooms. Recently, I catered to a client which booked our presidential suite. So that is motivating, a question to answer rather
Definitely,
when we had.
definitely
Yeah.
encouraging to hear all this, Sunil. Really.
Yeah.
Coming back, I mean, is your all rooms operational at all your properties, Sunil? Just for my information.
We can call the hotels are operational. We are ready to welcome
Okay.
guests. In the domestic space, while we discussed about the family holidays and family packages, just to bring to the context, we also have catered to a couple of Indian weddings, not those big fat Indian weddings, but under the limited norms of 25 rooms and these 50 guests attending those weddings.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
we have
Uh-huh.
done some bit of weddings, yes.
Beautiful.
Okay. Yeah, Mahesh, what about you? What does your property have to say about the domestic tourism?
So, as a in terms of trends, in terms of business pickup, quite similar to what Sunil has just been talking about at the Oberoi. Our typical profile is a little different, as some of you may know. Because we are a wellness destination, we only take people. The minimum age is 14 and above. We don't take families with very small children. Um, but I have to say, I mean, a lot of the people who have been coming to us immediately and inquiring with us and booking right now, it's interesting to hear when they call us to say, their stories about why they want, what they're looking to do, and why they want to travel. Some, of course, are in an older age group, and typically those who come to Ananda who are coming for full-length wellness retreats. I'm talking about people who are booking 1 week or 2 week wellness programs. Tend to be slightly older, but a lot of them are also families who are now saying, "Look, we're coming with our teenage children, or maybe like young adults and we've all been cooped up in one house for the past 4 or 5 months. We've had enough. We, we, we can't do this at home anymore. We want to come out,
Yeah.
and we just want to come to Ananda, and we want to go through our whole wellness programs. We're going to get a room for these guys, and they can do what they're doing at home, and they can kind of do it here. But the profile is a little different. But what surprises me is the there was a lot the domestic traveler within India traditionally has been somebody who used to come in for shorter breaks. We always had some who would come in for the full length wellness programs, just like everybody who's coming in from outside of India would come to Ananda. But in this period, the past 1 month, the kind of inquiries that we've been getting, a whole lot of them have been actually booking full length wellness programs of 1 week, 2 weeks. Because, think about it, a lot of people are still working out of home. And they find that, okay, if I'm going to a place where I can take care of my health, I can do I have access to high speed Wi-Fi. I can take time off and maybe spend half a day working out of home, catching up with my work wherever I am. And the rest of the time, I'm actually looking after my health, and I'm doing I'm in a beautiful, pristine surrounding in the foothills of the Himalayas. Why not? So
Definitely.
that kind of business pickup has been really encouraging. Like Sunil said, we are also seeing a lot of people who are driving down from either Delhi or Punjab, a few who are ready to fly down. But interestingly, when we started getting all these inquiries, that's when we kind of changed. We updated our protocol, and we actually started calling all of them back and saying, "Look, our updated protocol is that to maintain adequate security here and safety, all our guests need to get a COVID negative report, because otherwise we can't restart our wellness services. You can't reopen a spa." And I was surprised to find that not a single one of the people who had actually inquired with us said, "No, I'm not going to." Every one of them said, "You know what? That's a great move. I'm going to get myself tested and come." In fact, I feel even more safer that every other guest that you have is going to be tested. And you've already said that your entire staff is going to be staying on premise and they're also going to be tested. So this is the perfect place to be. So I think what we thought might be some of the reactions and perceptions of the domestic traveler for now is turning out to surprise us.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's really nice. Yes,
So
Christina,
Lajpat,
you want to add?
also, Lajpat, to add, it is also that aspirational traveler which is coming out and trying to experience these resorts. We are actually selling at a price which we would have not sold. So the aspirational things is also coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but do you think at this point of time, I mean, of course, with the economy not, I would say, in great heights at all over the world, do you think price plays an important part for the domestic traveler who comes there at this point of time?
You see the pricing. I shared with you that the domestic travelers
Yes.
have surprised us by just in 3 weeks the buying pattern has changed, and we are surprised. So I'm glad we are happily surprised that way, that they are trying to buy something which is the next higher category
Great.
room or suite. So
No,
that's one.
this
Yes, but entry level price, Rajpat, to share with you. Um, uh, our packages are available on website and are available with you and your team.
Yes.
These are the packages which includes all meals, and
Yes.
these are available at a price which we have not sold in last, let's say, I would not assume that I have sold in last 10 years or 12 years. So that price is available today. So I'm experiencing that the clients are picking this up over something else, saying, wow, I can now travel to this resort rated number 1, 2, or 3 in the world
Excellent.
at such a wonderful price. So let me go and experience it out. Come winter or come some other time, this price will be doubled or a little bit higher than that. So that
So you're
appetite
already
is
warning
also.
us about it, huh?
Yeah.
No.
I agree a lot with Sunil. Maybe it's something that is going to come for international travelers as well. People looking for promotions, even in luxury, everybody wants to have good deals, and maybe now is the time, as soon as all the borders will be open, that lots of people will try to experience a little bit longer trips, As we spoke a few days ago, we were talking about slow travel. I think because of lower cost, maybe people are going to do longer trips, and try to relax a little bit more and stay longer. And as Sunil also said about enjoying the hotel, this is something that I think is very important. Most of the monuments are still closed, people are not going to all those monuments where you have a lot of crowd gathering together. Most of people want to stay quieter, enjoy a hotel, enjoy a good meal, maybe a nice cooking lesson, something slower, quieter, And I think that because we got used to that, staying home, for so long, it kind of makes you a little bit different, after so many months that we are locked. I think we feel like keeping the silence that we had and keeping it even in the hotels. Don't you agree?
Yes, certainly. I'm sorry, somebody
Somebody has the
can you
micro.
please, can we please mute the mic? Rahul, can you just mute?
It's okay.
Okay. Okay,
So
I'm
we are back.
unmuted. All right, I got muted as well.
Everybody must.
Yeah, coming back.
We need to unmute our microphones.
Yeah, got it.
Yes.
Yes. Mahesh?
Now you, as brands, are you all doing anything to create value in the new normal, or do you think that you will be compelled to do this? Mahesh, what do you think about it?
Look, let me just take a step back here and really talk about, because my perspective now is really sharp focused on wellness travel. So before I answer your question, let me just give you that little bit of background
Sure, sure.
perspective.
Go ahead.
Um,
Sure.
so wellness travel, even pre-COVID, was already growing at almost twice the rate of leisure travel. And by wellness travel, I mean every aspect of wellness travel. For those who are not very familiar, it's globally defined as primary travel, where people come to a destination specifically to stay for a wellness purpose, whether it is weight loss or detox or whatever. And that typically is a 2 week or some lengthy period of stay. That's the primary wellness travel. And then
All
there is
right.
secondary wellness travel, which includes all those activities which are categorized as wellness, but which you undertake as part of your maybe a cultural trip or a leisure trip. If you've gone on a cultural trip, but if you've utilized some services in the spa and done it with some amount of planning, then that's called secondary wellness travel. So all of this is included in wellness tourism overall, right? So if you define it like this was already growing at almost twice the rate of leisure travel even before COVID. But
Mm-hmm.
now, all predictions are that post COVID, and once markets start opening up and once travel starts opening up, this is likely to absolutely skyrocket. And the reasons are pretty apparent. People have been cooped up. The most important thing that people miss today is connections and the ability to take care of your health and be in a better mental and physical space, the ability and the luxury of being able to connect with nature and uh, doing some activity in nature. So all these things point to wellness travel really skyrocketing. So for us as a wellness retreat, uh, we've just been focusing with our guests as well as travel partners on really saying, look, don't there is no there is no special definition of some customer who you can call a wellness customer. There is nothing like that according in my definition.
Yeah,
Correct. No,
Everybody,
it's correct.
yeah,
Yeah.
everybody who is a person who's discerning traveler, who normally travels with luxury or travels well, is a potential customer for wellness. So uh, our first effort has always been about education in terms of how do you actually sell wellness travel to all our travel agents. We've been focusing on the space and the physical distancing that I spoke about earlier, the fact that you have 100 acres of space available. The things that we've been doing new are there's been a huge buzz in the requirement of something to enhance everybody's immunity. I think there's enough science now to show that, look, the world is going to go through this, right? There is no
exactly.
Correct.
escaping it.
Correct.
There is no escaping it, and it's going to take a long time before this gets eradicated. And it's better to start thinking about this as a flu. So then, what do? It's the focus has to be on improving your health, improving your wellness, and focusing on immunity.
Exactly.
So I think as Ananda, we've made huge amount of. Even before this, we always had programs which fundamentally through Ayurveda and through yoga addressed your basic immunity levels. But now that has become a real focused program.
Friend.
We've brought in different Ayurvedic, very ancient Ayurvedic remedies and ways of building immunity boosting materials and practices into your daily life. And that is something that we've introduced into our programs at Ananda as well. So that these kind of changes in wellness programs have been a big focus area for us. The
Okay.
second has been also, we've pretty much, I think it was as a result of the pandemic, but now it's become a part and parcel of our business. So when this pandemic started, we said, okay, domestic tourism will start in a while, but for all of our international travel partners and all of our international clients, we have to find some way of engaging with them and keeping them on a healthy lifestyle. So we started a whole series of online wellness classes, whether it is online wellness consultations that you could actually sign up for with an Ayurvedic doctor at Ananda. or yoga classes. So we run every day, we run 2 yoga classes, one in the morning and one in the evening India time, so that people from all parts of the world can subscribe and join in. And we've seen a huge amount of uptick on people who are joining these and following these every day. And so the big shift for us was that something that we started purely as a result of the pandemic, now it has become, a part of our way of doing business. So now the way we will continue to operate, is that everybody from now onwards, and for as long as I can think of, will always have not only the option of coming to Ananda and doing your full 2-week program there, but they will also have the option of signing up for a complete online wellness journey before you come in, and the option of continuing that practice much after you leave. So these are the ways in which I think this has changed us. And I think I'm really happy that it has changed us like this, because sometimes new innovations come out of times which are adversarial.
Of course.
When your backs are actually pushed to the wall.
Well, very true, very true. Well, Sunil, what has the Oberoi Group to say about this?
The value creation.
Yes.
Yes.
Lachpat, you see, Mahesh has summed it up very well, that what's currently in demand, and the immunity foods and health and wellness, all these definitely are in terms right now, and we all understand the importance. But to give you a more technical answer, in last 3-4 weeks, 5 weeks, I have also observed that what have we done as a brand to create value. The first biggest value creation is the elevating the health and hygiene standard, which came in out of nowhere. And suddenly you have to come and create that value for the customer who's actually looking for it. And yes, so a solid, robust health and safety document with proper SOPs, planning in place, a functional document which has been tried and tested in a functional hotel, which your guests need to experience, or our guests need to experience. This is the biggest value creation which has happened in the last 4-5 weeks that I have seen. Besides creating that product of health and hygiene and elevating the standards, the second biggest value that we created was to communicate to the world, because communicating is a big cost, and the better we communicate, or the better story we tell, is the better story we can sell. So communicating that what we created was the task that we took on to talk about values. To create a value in terms of a real benefit, a reopening of the hotel price, or the right price loaded with benefits, with packages currently out, only being sold in domestic market. So that is being tested, and we are looking at some results there. So these things, which are little core typical marketing terms, which Mahesh understands better than me, I can sum up. Of course, Mahesh has talked about creating immunity foods, talking about the content on the Instagram followers, or on our websites, or on social media. We have also been doing that. We have been making efforts to talk about engaging our chefs to present a recipe, health recipe, or immunity boosting recipes. We have been doing all that, and I think this will continue for some time, because we also felt that the market was content hungry, and we need to provide something else which we have not done in the past. So, everything was going in that way. Yeah. But still, 3-4 weeks is not a time to find out what the right patterns are. We are still learning, evolving to see it. Yeah. So maybe in coming few weeks, more new values will come up into play.
Exactly. Which was what I wanted to push you all a little further and probe a little more by asking you, is there any particular special novelties we'll be seeing, or is there any particular campaign that stands out that you want to put it across to us and our friends here?
All novelties are there for you, Rajpat. You have to bring all the guests. Christina, come to India. All novelties are available.
I'm just waiting for the doors to open.
We will have to do some really nice fun trips to bring people to see.
I'll take a moment. I'll take a moment and say that LPTI has been a very, very preferred partner to Oberoi Group, and all your guests that you bring to us are very, very valuable, very important, and they deserve to be getting novelties at every arrival and departure experience. So trust me, you have to just bring the guest. Novelties will be taken care of. Don't worry.
Thank you,
Surprises
Sunil.
in
Really
place.
appreciate
Yeah.
it. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. You guys are also as close to us as we feel being close to you people. So yeah, thank you for being
Can I
such
just add
fantastic
on?
partner.
Yeah.
Can I
Please
just add
do,
on
please
one
do,
thing? I think just in
please
terms
do.
of the overall, I think you've got a couple of minutes left. Just in terms of the overall experience of the truly discerning traveler when they come to India. I just wanted to recount one experience that I had. This was early on, like almost about 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago, when I was first in my initial days with the Oberoi Hotels.
Okay.
I'm sorry, with Ananda. And I met a guest. I think they were coming in from somewhere in the US. I can't remember where exactly. And I happened to meet them in the restaurant, and we got talking. And they were doing one of our wellness programs. And I knew that they had actually traveled across in India. And like the reason it's coming up is because they had actually been to some of the Oberoi hotels as well. And
Okay.
so I got talking, and I said, "Look, how's your holiday?" So the lady, she looked at me for a couple of moments, and she said, "Young man, maybe I was young in those days." She is saying, "Young man, you know something? For me, India is not just a holiday. It is something. It's really an experience. And now, when I'm finishing it off with a wellness journey, this is not it is an investment. It is an investment that I have been waiting to do for a long, long time, and that is what India is to me.
Excellent.
It changes everything. So, like
Exactly.
Sunil rightly said, I think everything is here. All the attention and the safety and all of that is here. The hotels are going out of their way to do it. Things just have to open up, and I'm sure with your support, we will create these experiences once again. These
Thank
are
you. Thank you.
Yes.
our responsibility to do.
And
Looking forward to all that. Yes,
yeah.
Christina.
I think it's really important, because usually when clients they come to India, they have so many tours, they have so many things they have to do the whole day that they rarely get to enjoy the hotel so much.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I think that now is a time for us to create some programs that
Yes.
people can enjoy a little bit
The
more
hotel.
of what the
Yes.
hotel is offering, especially a
I
hotel like
completely-
Ananda or hotels like Oberoi's, they are in amazing locations. You don't even need to go out just to look around and see how beautiful
Very true.
the place you are, and
Very true,
also
very
what they offer. Sometimes you don't even have time to enjoy the amazing restaurants and gastronomy that the hotels offer. You're always in a rush going to visit a monument, going to visit something that you forget that you have chosen to stay in Ananda or you have chosen to stay in the Oberoi, and you need to spend time inside the hotel. Maybe this is also a new trend that is coming.
Yes.
In
travel.
those trips,
Slow travel, yes.
Take it slow, take your time
true.
and enjoy what you have
Very
and
true.
what all the hotels are preparing right now for the guests, I guess all the hotels in India have been preparing themselves, doing
Very true.
renovations, cleaning and inventing, like you said, Mahesh, different types of gastronomy and treatments, for the guest. You have taken all these months that you were closed, preparing yourself to receive everyone. So I think that this is the time for people and travelers to arrive in India and enjoy everything that you guys have prepared for these past months, Isn't it so,
Excellent.
Sunil?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Great. Coming back now, how do you all see the platforms such as ILTM, Pure adapt to these changes? Will there be a new order in these platforms that we're looking at? Christina, I'd like to hear what you have to say on this. to start
Well,
with?
I have been hearing a lot of fairs going online. Of course, I guess for this year now, 2020, many countries have events that have been postponed because you cannot put together more than 50 people. And of course, fairs like ILTM Cannes, I would say, brings together more than 2,000, 3,000 people together in one space. Maybe this year it will not happen. I haven't heard from it, but I don't think so. But I'm sure that next year everybody will go back to this type of fairs and meetings because, as I always said, it's like a big gathering, especially when you deal with luxury. I would say going to ILTM Cannes is going back and to see your friends again, you know, at least once a year, you see everybody that you know, you talk about novelties, you talk about the new trends for the next year because the fair usually happens in December. So everybody's getting prepared for a new year. So I think that I am sure by next year, everything will be back. We have been participating as LPTI to ILTM Latin America. And I'm sure that next year we will have the fair back. It's an amazing fair, really great gathering. And I think that that's what luxury is all about, you know, it's connections. And when you have the right connections, things work. So
Absolutely.
This is
Absolutely.
what I feel. And then everybody's dying to shake hands.
Yeah.
Everybody's dying for an embrace.
Of course. Of course.
You know, that's what we've been longing for, you know. So I guess
Exactly.
everybody's counting the months, you know, until we can do this again and
Very
see
true.
old friends, you know.
Very true. What is your take as hoteliers, Mahesh and Sunil, on this?
I think it's I agree with Christina, especially in luxury travel. There is so much more which is being discussed, and you know, just by meeting somebody, you know the person, and so much of what is being done in this industry is just purely relationships and connections. There is a limitation to how much you can do online. I know that some of these shows have gone online for this year. But you know, if you're meeting 60, 70 people, it's just not the same. I've done a couple of these this year, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
You need that physical meeting. Maybe the new normal. There might be a new normal for these fairs as well. Maybe you know, it will take some time for the big galas to come back. Maybe it's going to be smaller breakaways or breakout sessions, which is probably more relevant. At least maybe next year. But you know what? I'm happy with even that, as long as it gives us a chance to connect again, because I think that is the most important thing.
Very true. Very true. Like we say, like you know, especially a trade like tourism, it has always been human touch.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
It's true.
Sunil, I think you agree with Mahesh on this?
Yeah, definitely. My view on this is that luxury is not very easy to define in few words. You know, you always cannot explain luxury. You always have different viewpoints whenever you are discussing it out. So it's a much wider concept, and we cannot always misunderstand luxury by richness or by being expensive or extremely elegant as a luxury. No, it's a combination of multiple such things. I feel luxury is more functional and exclusive. And when I say functional and exclusive, I personally believe online meetings are not my personal favorite. When I meets one-on-one someone in a mart, the meeting is exclusive. You can express, you can talk, you can express a more better rather than giving an expression on the online meeting. So I'm in a personal my personal vote goes towards the older trend of having the fairs and being able to meet people the way you can, and as Christina said, able to say hello to people walking on the aisle. And Mahesh said gala dinners should be back. I would not like to have this new normal. I want to go back to those old days and, same old patterns.
I'm
So
would
do
sure.
I.
I,
I'm,
so do
So
I.
would
I'm
I.
sure.
I'm just saying, like, no,
I
that might be
guess,
what people might tend to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess all of us would want to do that. And I
Yeah.
guess on that note, I would also like to thank all of you all for joining us here once again. And we just leave the floor open for anyone who's got any questions. Our three panelists are here. They will be more than happy to take it forward. So you just have to unmute your mic and shoot your questions.
While we're getting in those questions, Lajpat, thanks so much. I mean, this was a really interesting being able to chat with all of you and open it up to people from travel advisors from all across the world. So thanks so much for having us.
It's true.
Thank
That
you.
was
Thank
an
you.
international webinar. It's wonderful to have people from all over the world.
Yeah, at one place. The world is small, isn't it?
Yeah, I could see there are lots of Brazilians. I was very happy and proud to have many Brazilians in the meeting. Thank you. Muito obrigada.
Sorry, Christina and Lajpat. I started by saying, or rather, you started by explaining that I was on webinar detox. So by being here, I would like to say that, listen, we value you as a partner and really thank you, Lajpat, Mr. Prasad, Christina, Ashwini, everybody behind the team of LPTI. We value you. We will continue to value you as a preferred partner. And whenever you need and wherever you need us, we will be the first one to come and stand up and support you. So any initiative that you take, any kind of investments in terms of campaigns that you plan to bring the interest back to India, please don't hesitate to contact. We are always there to support. As Mahesh said in between somewhere, that India is a very, very welcoming country. You know India and you have been selling India better. So, look forward. The air liquidity comes up and look forward to have all the guests back.
Thank you.
Thank you once
Thank-
again to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Sunil, for your kind words and, of course, you being there. Like I said, the floor is now open. Ladies and gentlemen, any questions?
If somebody
Any
wants to ask a question.
I saw a couple of. There was one. There was one question which actually came, something which got posted in the chat while we were speaking.
Yes.
I think the question was about how do locals around these hotels perceive tourists in this kind of challenging time when they come in? Are they a little apprehensive and scared? Actually, in my very limited experience of just, we're still opening up as we speak. But I have to say, look, this is the locals can't be more thankful for tourism. They depend on tourism. Of course, they know that every hotel and every tourist is now going to be responsible and safe. But I haven't seen any, or at least heard of anything from the local people who are living in the neighborhoods of Ananda, and I'm sure it's the same for you, Sunil, around the Oberoi hotels. I haven't heard anything from the hotels, from the locals saying that they are a little apprehensive about hotels restarting. In fact, I think they're all really keen and really waiting for all of us to restart and for the business to come back so that they can be supported as well.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah. It's
Anyone
true.
else?
I guess they feel a little empty. There's so many spaces that used to be so full of tourists, and nowadays those spaces are empty.
Right.
I think it lacks a little bit of life as well,
Yes.
And this is all around the world.
Yes.
And also
Very
many communities that depend on tourism, it's a very sad moment to see what's happening all around the world,
Very true. Very true.
So we are all, I guess everybody's looking forward to have everything back. I would say not the new normal, but to the old normal we used to have. Of course, with a few changes, I would say, with more care to the earth. I think this showed us that we need to care about our earth a little bit more.
Right. Absolutely.
I guess those months gave the possibility for the earth to breathe a little, less pollution in the skies because less planes, less pollution in the seas because less
Very
ships.
true.
So
I see a question on the chat which has just come in. I think this might be maybe Lajpat, maybe you have the overall perspective, and Sunil, for you as well. This is from Deepak, who says, I'm a USA-based tour operator. Very nice for us vendors to be ready for our guests. But when will our guests be ready to take a 15-hour flight sitting 6 inches away from a stranger? Very good question. When will travel start?
That truly is $1 million question, I must say.
I know.
Yeah. We have been trying to find an answer to that.
Yeah, in fact, we over here are also waiting for that to start, Deepak. We are looking forward to travel to start again, and the moment we have some information on this as to when the borders are open, we'll be more than happy to keep you informed about this. So till then, our fingers are crossed.
Yeah, but have you heard anything? I mean, is there some speculations? What has the government been saying?
For the Indian part, well, we're looking at probably mid of August. Domestic flights have started in India, but of course only limited sector, limited flights, and limited inventory as well. So domestic has started. So we are positive that maybe if we move in the right direction, the borders will open shortly as well.
Now we have another question here from Belgium. I've heard that Europe will suspend international travel till the end of the year. So this is something sad that we are hearing. He's a Belgium-based tour operator.
Because we have heard that there's been a recent spike of cases in Belgium as well. So that's something that's unfortunate, that Europe is going to suspend international travel. However, in conversations with people who are interested in traveling and past guests of ours and other travel partners, I mean, people are ready to travel. It's as soon as governments and aviation will resume, there is optimism, but it is always has to be combined with what's really the reality on the ground, unfortunately.
Yeah. We have a very interesting question here from Puran from Expedition Leaders UK. I would like to ask, do you think that all the hotels should put a cap on the prices or offer reduced rates to encourage travel again?
Sunil, you want to go first, and then I can take that one after you.
I love this question, actually. I've grown up answering such questions always.
For some reason, Sunil.
Okay, so my question is.
Oh yeah, there he is.
In my experience, I have seen that when we talk about luxury clients or luxury traveler, reducing price has never been able to attract a customer. So that's my say on it. And reducing a price does not take away the primary question of comfort, safety, security, and confidence. So if you have security in place, if you have confidence of a traveler in mind, then price won't matter. That's my view, and especially concerning to luxury traveler, it never got boiled down to the price. We have tried experimenting by giving 50% discount. It does not increase our occupancy a bit. Yeah. So your point is valid that we should reduce the price, but it brings up another question that hotels are currently pushed for no fault of theirs to spend money to again, I would say, to elevate the health and hygiene standards. There is a cost going on. We are not increasing the price, but trying to maintain is also in a way a reduction rather than. Sure. So we have to read it both ways as a partner, Puran, rather than looking at a price reduction. But in case if you have any pressing matter, you can talk offline, and if you want to promote a group or promote something, happy to talk that part also. I don't want to discard that thought.
Yeah. I just want to add to that by saying completely agree. Just the fact that you're able to maintain the price itself is in this situation, a big benefit that we will be passing on to our clients. I just want to add on another perspective. Today, in most hotels, and definitely I can speak on behalf of Ananda, we know that for the near future, and I think all the way up till maybe middle of next year, with all these different safety measures in place, we will not be able to operate anything near even median inventory in the hotel. At present, we are proposing opening up only one quarter. Overall we have 78 rooms. We are only talking about opening up about 20-25 rooms at the maximum. And I think this will go on for quite some time. It might even last till middle of next year. Now, if you think about it that way, then all the overheads of a hotel go sky high, because you're operating, because of social distancing and physical distancing requirements, you're not able to operate a hotel to scale. And then you're operating a very small inventory, and therefore all your costs are enhanced and escalated. So with that in mind, it becomes a completely different operating model. And like Sunil said, there are also investments which are being made in all these extra sanitization, extra hygiene, extra protocol, extra safety measures. So it's actually a double whammy. And therefore, even the fact that you're maintaining the pricing for some period of time itself means that you're willing to actually work on a much lower operating model, profitability model, and you're passing all of that on to your clients and ultimately the end client. So that's the way I would look at pricing and promotion in this going forward.
Yeah, I agree with that. The hotels are already spending so much to get ready to reopen, so it will be difficult, to lower the price too much. This is something we talked already before. And what is really important for I guess the travelers is their security. Like somebody is saying right now, I saw somebody wrote, I don't think price is the issue today. Will my children come back safe and sound after a tour, which was a holiday, not a necessity? So I think the more important question is their safety, is the traveler's safety. And I know that most of the hotels are spending a lot lately for this safety. So this is the most important issue.
I can say just from personal experience, like the first few clients that we have started booking at Ananda again, I was very surprised. Like Sunil said, the first inquiries were all for the suites, independent suites and villas. So people are even going to the extent of saying, even within a place which is located on a 100-acre palace estate, even there they are taking up something even more exclusive.
Even more exclusive, exactly.
Even more exclusive, which is great. I mean, for us. But I'm just saying that is the perception of people today, and therefore, if it was only price, then I don't think that would have been the reaction. I think the person who just commented now is absolutely spot on. The idea is that you're sending somebody, or you're taking that investment, you're going to a faraway destination when everything opens. You want to be safe and you want to be secure. And if there is certain cost attached to that, you don't mind, you wouldn't mind paying for that.
Yeah.
And may I make a point to this question? While the India was in lockdown situation, our hotels were functional, Mahesh and Christina, and our city hotels were functional, Bombay, Calcutta, and Gurgaon Hotel. These hotels were functional, and we were catering to the requirement of the industries which were functional, like banking industry was functional. Okay. It continued to function. So we had requests from banking industry. Cargo flights were functional, so we had requests from cargo flights. They were part of essential services. A lot of essential services were on, like pharmaceutical fields were on.
Yes,
so
it's true.
We had requirements of pharmaceutical fields. Yeah. Stock exchange was functional, and we had requirements from stock exchanges in city hotels. So why did these industries choose hotels to work? Because they found that hotels are much safer environment to work, rather than keeping those valuable employees at other workstations or other workplaces. So all those things came into play, and those brought in confidence to various industries, which today can give testimonials that hotels were much more safer than anything else. That's one. And I like that comment which one of the guests have made, saying because the client could not travel this year, next year they will have more budget. So no point in reducing the price. Mahesh,
I agree.
this gives
I love to hear that one.
Excellent. Yeah. So anyway, I think it's time we close this, because I don't see any more questions. And since we are time constraints over here, I would also request if there are any queries or any questions you have, please write to us offline. We'll be more than happy to reply to you.
We will.
Thank you for once again to the panelists. And I would also like to add here that at LPTI, we are also working closely with our stakeholders, our partners, and administrative body to create this new normal safe and ensure seamless journey in the Indian subcontinent. Our post-COVID SOPs, company norms, and we ensure safety to all our travelers who are traveling here as well. We have introduced enhanced hygienic protocols for your travelers, our partners, and our own team members as well. And these are being monitored by our ISO certified quality management system. As the global airspace plans to reopen, we have started a comprehensive risk assessment and audit of all our itineraries, our local office operation teams and tour operators who are undergoing the COVID-19 health and safety training. All this is to ensure that your travelers are looked after at every point. And at this point, I would also like to say, Deepak, I hope that it is clear that we from our side are also doing our best to keep your clients safe in India as they travel in India. So please, once our borders open, I would like to invite all of you all to come down and look at this beautiful country as well. So let's say travel positive and corona negative.
Yes.
Good night, gentlemen.
Great one.
Good night, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us once again here. And thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Muito obrigada a todos que participaram. Um grande abraço aqui. O que vocês precisarem, a Boarding Gate está aqui para ajudar vocês com vendas, com ações de marketing, tudo o que vocês precisarem. Como o Sunil disse, o Oberoi também está pronto, o Ananda, para a gente poder trabalhar juntos e levar de novo nossos clientes para lá. Muito obrigada.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night. Good day.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good.